Welcome to ESPN's coverage of college football presented by Jimmy John's. You see the San Diego State Aztecs getting ready to go, hosting the Utah State Aggies, a big-time Mountain West matchup. You take a look at the standings. These are the two lone undefeated teams remaining in the conference, perhaps a preview of the conference championship to come later this season as we welcome you inside our booth at Qualcomm Stadium. Ryan Rucco alongside two-time Super Bowl champion David Diaz-Infante. Now, each of these teams have been playing some really good football of late, but last week Utah State had perhaps the best win in its program's history, and what a job by that defense forcing turnovers.
Well, it's definitely a statement win by Utah State, and they did it by their defense. They forced 8 turnovers in the game. They're aggressive, they're swarming, and more importantly, the offense capitalized. Turned 7 of those takeaways into 35 points. They're physical, they're thick in the middle, and long on the edges. It's going to be a great matchup of this swarming defense against San Diego State.
And when we talk about great defenses, that also does apply to San Diego State as well. But they also have a bellhorn in the backfield. And when you talk about great running backs in this country, Donnell Pumphrey is one of them you have to mention.
Donnell Pumphrey, he's a guy that's not very big, but he plays so much bigger. He's going to get 30 to 35 touches. You see how much of the offense he is involved in. He's also their leading receiver. He plays behind a big physical offensive line, and their DNA is running right at you. They're tough, they're physical, and that's because their head coach, Rocky Long.
Rocky Long in his 5th season at the helm of San Diego State. Most wins in Mountain West history combined with New Mexico and San Diego State. And at New Mexico, he had Matt Wells on his staff for a couple of seasons, the head coach of Utah State, both with a lot of affinity for each other. Matt Wells said it would be a little bit strange. He was thinking it would be weird going up to Rocky before the game, and they exchanged pleasantries for quite a while. Utah State won the toss, deferred. San Diego State will receive. Jake Thompson will kick it away. And Chase Price and Rashad Penny back deep to receive. Rashad Penny, one of the best returners in the nation. Thompson trying to keep it away from him. A low bounding ball that will be picked up at the 10 by Penny. Penny going to try and bust it out left and gets to about the 27-28 yard line and is taken down there. And that's where San Diego State will set up shop. See Maxwell Smith, the graduate transfer from Kentucky, been very good over the last couple of weeks, David.
And he just added another dimension to the San Diego State offense, and has really helped them become not so one-dimensional. He's been very efficient the last 2 weeks. He has been lights out, and it's really helping their offense and their confidence in what they do.
San Diego State, Utah State, each undefeated in the conference. Opening handoff will go to Pumphrey, and Pumphrey slipping a tackle will break it across the 35. And a big gain on first down from Donnell Pumphrey as Deshaun Hines missed the tackle, a gain of 8. Take a look at the impact players on this side of the ball, David.
Well, you look for Utah State, it's Nick Vigil and Kyler Fackrell. Those guys have got to control that offense of San Diego State. Dakota Gordon and Chase Price are part of that 1-2 punch in the backfield with Donnell Pumphrey, and they play behind a big offensive line.
A 2nd and 1 now. Micah Holder goes in motion. High formation, a lot of that for San Diego State. A little play action. With the throw deep down the center of the field, it's incomplete. Intended target was Eric Judge, who is the downtown threat for San Diego State. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And that's one thing San Diego State's trying to do, is take more shots down the field. When they do throw it, it's hard play action and vertical routes. And Maxwell Smith has just been outstanding. The last 2 games, 21 of 29, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Smith has gone 102 throws without an interception now. High formation, Pumphrey will get it, charging up the middle, and it does not look like he got the yardage. The Utah State defense, one of the best in the nation against the run, 6th. And Pumphrey is held short.
And there's no surprise what they're going to do. They're going to run right behind their fullback. You'll see Gordon right there take on the block, and you'll see the defensive line slips off the double team to make that hit before Pumphrey could get to the 2nd level of the defense.
LT Filiunga in there on the tackle. Tanner Blaine on to punt it. Jalen Davis waits back at his own 28 to receive. as San Diego State held to 3 and out. A high spiraling kick. Davis will make the fair catch, backpedaling to about his 16-yard line. And that is where Utah State will take over after a punt of 46 yards. Utah State started this season with Chucky Keaton at quarterback, but once again banged up, and so instead it has been Kent Myers who has been leading the Utah State offense over the last few weeks, and he's had a lot of success, David.
Yeah, he sure has, and I tell you what, he's really given this offense of Utah State a lot of confidence. And one, the quarterback run game has really become a big part of what they do and their identity on the offensive side of the ball. He's also been very effective throwing the ball down the field.
Myers beginning to shotgun it back to his left. That back is Devontae Mays, who's averaging 7 yards a carry. Fired to the far side, and immediately hit and tackled was Hunter Sharp. J.J. Whitaker, the corner on the play. Gain of 5 as we take a look at the impact players on this side of the ball.
Yeah, and see Lawan Hunt and Devontae Mays are two guys that will share carries in the backfield, and they may look like a spread team, but they want to run the ball, and they've run it over 30 times a game the last few weeks. And then you look at Calvin Munson and Jake Feely. Those guys are active, aggressive, downhill linebackers.
Up the middle, it's going to be Mays, cut down at the line. Ryan Dunn on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down, no gain there for Devontae Mays. Both of these defenses among the leaders in the nation in so many categories, but especially run defense. I told you Utah State was 6th. Well, San Diego State is 10th.
And one of the reasons why is there's 4 of the best linebackers you're going to see in college football on the field here tonight, between Munson, Feely, Fackrell, and Vigil.
Big-time linebackers. Lawan Hunt now in for Devontae Mays, standing to the right of Myers on a 3rd and 5. Myers to throw. Will heave one to the far side. Incomplete. Intended target is Hunter Sharp. And J.J. Whitaker was there again. It'll be 4th down. And both of these defenses predictably holding on the opening possession.
Yeah, well, you knew it was going to be a defensive battle and who's going to give first. But one thing San Diego State does have is they've got veteran experience in that back half of the secondary, especially at the corner positions. They only play the pass well, but they come up and are aggressive in their run support.
DeMonte KZ will wait for the return. Aaron Dalton to punt it away. Averaging just over 39 yards a punt this season. Been punting a little better of late, and a fair catch called for. Run into. Ball is loose. Utah State is going to dive on it. I'm not sure it ever hit San Diego State, though, and it did not. It's going to be San Diego State ball. But Chase Price ended up diving on it all the way back inside the 15-yard line after the fair catch was not made.
Legally touched by the kicking team and will be placed at the spot of the illegal touch. 1st down.
So San Diego State unable to field the punt. Will be backed up a bit as we step aside. 2 3 and outs to begin this one. It's a defensive battle as expected here at Qualcomm. Well, a couple of 3 and outs to begin this game in San Diego. San Diego State, Utah State, scoreless. 2 undefeated teams in the Mountain West. And a second drive now for Maxwell Smith, who will give to Donnell Pumphrey, trying to skeet his way up the middle. And a flag flies after a minimal gain on 1st down for Donnell Pumphrey.
A personal foul, hands to the face by number 56 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
That'll be Nasa Toto Schuster, who will see a lot more time today for Utah State after the injury to David Moala.
And you'll see Schuster right there. He's fighting the double team. Sometimes his hands get high. Well, that's a tough call.
But a personal foul. Now you'll notice no play clock on our bug in the right corner. That's because the play clock on one of the end zones is out. By rule, they have to have both out there. Give on the fly sweep to Rashad Penny, and Penny goes dashing forward for a first down into Utah State territory. So because they don't have one end zone, they can't have it in either, and thus the officials have to give the play clock instead.
Well, you'll see Penny coming in motion right there on the fly sweep, and all eyes are on Donnell Pumphrey, and he's right there to make positive yardage on the fly sweep.
Rashad Penny, very good speed, one of the best kick returners in the country. It'll be a 1st and 10, now in Utah State territory after the gain of 12. Pumphrey going to try it this side. Pumphrey trying to outrun the defense in the corner and gets inside the 45 before being run out of bounds by Deshane Hines. Nice gain on first down. They'll give him 5.
This is one thing that Donnell Pumphrey does as well as anybody. You see the ball is supposed to go inside. He's going to dip it outside. Look, Nick Vigil's right there to make the play. Deceptively fast, and he gets a little stiff arm.
A 2nd down and 5. You'll see the numbers on Donnell Pumphrey. 3 straight games with 100+ yards. Play action. Smith to throw across his body. Has Hazley open inside the 20-yard line. Jamon Hazley with the grab and a first down for San Diego State after a gain of 26.
And you'll see this is when their play action pass, the boot pass is open. Great decision by Maxwell Smith to get down the field to Jamon Hazley for a big gain for San Diego State. They need some chunk plays like that in their offense, and he's starting to deliver those for them from the quarterback position.
He's been big over the last 2 weeks as Pumphrey gets the carry and gets stood up at the line. LT Filiunga on the tackle.
Well, Filiunga's sitting right there in the hole, unblocked, unaccounted for. And he's a thumper in the middle. He's physical. He's 5'11", 5'10", 250 pounds. And he's not going backwards. He plays through people.
It'll be a 2nd down and 10 for San Diego State. They're 15 of 16 in red zone scores this season. That's field goal or touchdown. Pumphrey going to line up in a slot left. Dangerous as a receiver as well. Pumphrey was the intended target, but Smith put it out too far in front of him, and it was well covered nonetheless.
Yeah, Donnell Pumphrey's their leading receiver as well. They play in the slot. They run him down the field vertically. That time Maxwell Smith just missed the throw. Just a simple out.
Pumphrey actually the only player in the nation to lead his team in rush yards, receptions, and receiving yards. And that's exactly what you're seeing there. The only player in the FBS to do that. Back to either side of Smith on a 3rd and 10. Smith will send one towards the end zone. It's caught in the end zone, hauled in by Micah Holder. And San Diego State strikes first. Third touchdown reception this season, and the 8th touchdown pass for Maxwell Smith.
Again, there it is from the gun. You see him. Protection holds up. He's going to stand tall in the pocket. He's going to throw a strike down the middle of the field to his wide receiver, Micah Holder. He's probably their most consistent receiver outside. They need more production from their wide receivers, and that rhythm's getting better and better each week with the quarterback and wide receivers.
Donnie Hagman on for the extra point, and he boots it through. The 3rd and 10 touchdown pass to Micah Holder puts San Diego State on the board. Big Mountain West game, and they've taken a 7-0 lead here at home.
ESPN College Football is presented by Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Sandwiches and in part by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Well, a typically gorgeous night in San Diego, California. And the San Diego State Aztecs, a 7-play, 78-yard drive, took 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And that man, Maxwell Smith, on 3rd and 10, connecting on an 18-yard touchdown pass to Micah Holder. And San Diego State strikes first. Donnie Hagman will kick it away. Back deep, it's Jalen Davis and Lawan Hunt. And Davis bobbles it in the end zone, never came out. He can freely take a knee. for the touchback. Hey, Saturday on ABC, it's college football presented by Kay Jewelers. Number 6 undefeated Clemson squares off against the Canes. Then in Saturday night football presented by Walmart, number 1 ranked Ohio State takes on Rutgers. Clemson, Miami at noon Eastern, then Ohio State, Rutgers at 8 on ABC. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Second drive for Kent Myers in Utah State. Myers 8-1 as a starter over the last 2 seasons. Lawan Hunt into the game for Devontae Mays. Split time in the backfield. Play action. Over the middle, too tall for Hunter Sharp, incomplete, and a dangerous throw there from Kent Myers.
That's right. The free safety down the middle of the field for San Diego State was breaking on that football as it went over the head of Sharp.
Hunter Sharp, probably the most dynamic playmaker in the passing game for Utah State. Had a couple of touchdowns last week in the rout of Boise State, a win that Matt Wells called perhaps the best in the program's history. Here 5 wides, a little screen set up, and it's knocked away from Myers. Ball is loose, and it looks like San Diego State pounced on it. No indication yet. Coming with the hit was Alex Barrett, and we'll see who's on it. And that's San Diego State football. It's Calvin Munson who ends up with it.
And San Diego State does what they always do, is pressure the quarterback. You see the twist between the linebacker, Munson, and the defensive lineman. He comes free. Myers never sees him to his backside. He's got to pump it and hold on to it. That's all it took for San Diego State to create the first turnover of the game.
Munson comes up with it after it was forced by Barrett, the most explosive defensive lineman. And now San Diego State with Chase Price in there instead of Donnell Pumphrey as a 1st and 10 from inside the 15. Price cutting left, weaving through tackles all the way to the 1. There is a flag down, and we will check that after the nice run by Chase Price. Devin Centers on the touchdown saving tackle.
Offside by number 52 of the defense. Penalties decline. First down.
A 13-yard run will set up 1st and goal from the 1 for San Diego State.
Well,
trying to take a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, Chase Price is part of that 1-2 punch, and you'll see him. He's a short, squatty body guy. He's got great quickness within the line of scrimmage and in the hole.
Has some wiggle to him and remains in the I formation on a 1st and goal from the 1. Smith under center. Play action to throw. Under pressure, gonna run, dives, and is in. Maxwell Smith, 1 throwing, 1 running, and San Diego State with the first 2 scores of this contest. And the first career rushing touchdown for Maxwell Smith.
One of the reasons why Maxwell Smith has done so well is great decisions with the football. Look, he does not force it into the end zone. Makes a quick decision to tuck it and run. Saw the alley, took it. Touchdown, San Diego State.
San Diego State converts the Kent Myers fumble into 6 and perhaps 7. Is Donnie Hagman on for the extra point? And Hagman will boot it through. It took just a couple of plays, and San Diego State has jumped on Utah State early. It's 14-0 Aztecs.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
A lot to cheer about for San Diego State. A 14-0 lead over Utah State. Each of these teams coming into this game undefeated in the Mountain West Conference. And Maxwell Smith has thrown a touchdown. He's run for 1. As San Diego State will kick it away. Jalen Davis, Lawan Hunt back to receive. It is Davis who will scoop it out of his end zone. Come charging up the center of the field and get cut down. Just outside the 10-yard line, Billy Vaughn Jr. got it. We've seen fast starts this season for San Diego State, David. They've outscored their opponents 70-13 in first quarters this season. And so now Kent Myers facing a 14-0 deficit, trying to get something going for Utah State. Devontae Mays is back in. Andrew Rodriguez goes in motion. The handoff up the middle to Mays, who cuts through a couple tackles and bouncing off of defenders. Ends up gaining 5 on first down.
And that's one reason why Devontae Mays is in there, because he's a 220-pound tailback that's really been productive whenever given the opportunity. So first down production key for Utah State right now to settle things down, pick up a first down, and get some rhythm going offensively.
Tony Lindsay, the back in the game, as Myers will keep it, trying to evade the rush. He cannot. It's Jake Feely who got him, and no gain. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, Jake Feely, great discipline. You see him fake the speed sweep outside, and Kent Myers tries to take it right down the pipe. Great discipline, great eyes by Feely. You'll see him out here to the left. He's going to come in from the left part of your screen, right part of your screen. There he is, defeating the block of the center and playing his responsibility.
6th-year senior. He and Calvin Munson lead this defense. 3rd and 5. Myers with time, incomplete. Had some time, didn't have to fire right away, and threw it much too far out in front of Devontae Robinson. And Utah State will be forced to punt. No first downs thus far for Utah State. Another 3 and out. Demonte Casey had some trouble with the first punt attempt of Dalton. Waiting back at his 40. Dalton just gets that one away, and it is a booming kick. KZ will call a fair catch all the way back near his own 31. A 50-yard punt, San Diego State with ball back. San Diego State out to a 14-0 lead, and Maxwell Smith has done it through the air and on the ground, David.
Yeah, it's good decision making, and he's playing within himself, letting the game come to him. And you see him throwing that ball. Not a pretty ball, but it was out there in a place where his wide receiver could catch it. And then there, great decision in the red zone. Don't force the ball in there. Take what the defense gives you. He saw the opening, ran it in for 6.
Coaching staff feels like he's been playing his best football over the last couple of weeks. Smith will give to Pumphrey here, a lot of space, and Donnell Pumphrey knows how to take advantage. Across midfield, a big run from Donnell Pumphrey, and San Diego State is motoring. Huge block there from Nico Siragusa.
And you'll see again, the fly motion takes away the support defender for Utah State, and it allows the offensive guard to wrap around and clear the way for Donnell Pumphrey. Big explosive play on the ground again for San Diego State.
21 yards for Pumphrey. And a 1st and 10 at the 48 of Utah State. Pumphrey remains in as the tailback. And he'll get it again. Trying the left side and darting through a big hole. Cut down across the 40. Tyler Fackrell on the tackle. Gain of 9 for Pumphrey.
One of the reasons why they have so successful run the football is watch number 46, Dakota Gordon. He's going to lead the way for his tailback right there, and watch him just take out the Utah State defender. Got to love that guy. When you're playing with tight ends and fullbacks, and that guy never turns it down, I love it.
Coaching staff loves him too. 2nd and 1, Pumphrey will get it again. He has the first down and more. Donnell Pumphrey taken down by Kyler Fackrell after a gain of 6. San Diego State marching right down the throat of this Utah State defense, David, which is one of the best run defenses in the country.
Well, let's talk about their offensive line that's been improving all season long. Return of Darrell Green up front. They're big, they're physical. They average over 6'5", over 315 pounds, and they're good at what they do. They're going to run zone at you, they're going to gap you, and they're physical.
Pumphrey, a horse, stays in. See Penny going in motion. A little stumble from Smith, but he gets it to Pumphrey, who finds some space on the edge, and another quality first down run. That's fine.
And there's nothing fancy about that. That's just running the power play. Behind the guard, the fullback leading. And Donnell Pumphrey is a guy that has great patience and vision. He knows every one of these run schemes, and he knows where the crease should be, he knows where the backside cut is. Part of that has to do with vision, the ability to get through the hole before the defense can close it.
A 2nd and 5 now. Pumphrey stays in. Aisley is the receiver, setting up on the right side. Hits Pumphrey again. Whoa! This time he is stuck. Pounded to the ground by Marwin Evans, the safety.
You'll see the safety, Evans, again defeat the block of the wide receiver, and a great job of closing in on Pumphrey.
Marwin Evans becoming a playmaker for this team, according to defensive coordinator Kevin Clune.
Well, one of these guys got to step up and make a play and get San Diego State behind the sticks.
Pumphrey comes split out right. A 3rd and 5 for San Diego State. Smith to throw, has plenty of time, zips one left, it's caught. A 1st down grab by Eric Judge. And San Diego State will move the chains after a gain of 6.
And those are the throws that they need Maxwell Smith to make. 3rd down, not forcing the ball. The ball was low and away where his receiver can make a play on it. The protection held up, stand tall in that pocket.
A 1st and 10, just outside the 20 on the 22. Here's Pumphrey again, following Gordon, gets to the 19 and wrestled down there by Devin Centers, a gain of 3. You know, David, in this game we see sort of old school styles, and it was interesting listening to Kevin Clune, the defensive coordinator for Utah State, talk about how preparing for a team like San Diego State is so much different than it would have been 20 years ago, because you don't have a lot of teams just constantly line up in the I formation anymore and just pound you.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Stanfords of the world. They're going to run right at you.
And off to Pumphrey, cut it back left, and then stood up at the 16. It'll be 3rd and short. Gain of 3. Nick Vigil on the tackle. One of the star linebackers of this Utah State defense.
Nick Vigil is a football-playing Jesse right there, linebacker. He makes so many plays, even played running back for him last year. He's athletic, he's tough. When you pair him with Fackrell, that's as good as any linebacker pairing in the country. And same thing on the other side of the ball for San Diego State.
Pumphrey with 7 carries on this drive for 47 yards. It's a 3rd and 4. Smith will throw. Looking right, is hit and dropped. Sacked back at the 24-yard line. Torrey Green with the sack. It's 4th down.
And you'll see those guys running stunts up inside. There's Torrey Green again, defeating the block of the tackle and closing. Nice job to use his hands, flipping his hips, and then closing on Maxwell Smith. He had nowhere to go with the ball down the field. The clock was ticking.
And a member of the Utah State defense is down. We will get you who as soon as the number is not obscured. A loss of 8 on that sack, setting up a 4th and 12. And it is Ricky Ali Fua who is down for Utah State. And this is a defensive line already without David Moala, who is an essential part of that D-line. So this is a loss that they can ill afford if Ali Fua is banged up.
Yeah, Ali Ifua is a guy that they need in there, because you're right. That's one thing they are in the middle, is they're thick and they're stout, and that's how you hold up against the run. You start getting thin in there against this offensive line, and you're in for some trouble. And you'll see him go down. Hard to see what happens.
Kyler Fackrell, actually his own man, kind of
friendly fire
into him. Yeah. So now a field goal attempt from Donnie Hagman, who's hit from 54 this year. This is a 41-yard attempt. 8 of 11 on the season. Snap good, spot down. Hagman's kick is good. Snuck it inside the left upright, and it gives San Diego State a 17-0 first quarter lead. Well, San Diego State with a 17-0 first quarter lead. Rocky Long's going to like that. Outscored their opponents 45-0 in the first quarter of their last 4 games. Now Matt Wells' team needs to find something on the offensive side of the ball.
And they have not played from behind in a Mountain West Conference game this year. They're playing with the lead, and it suits their style. We'll see how Utah State responds.
Hageman boots it away. Taken in the end zone on a knee by Kennedy Williams. And Utah State with the touchback. Hey, celebrating its 11th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, All-State makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, All-State has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Now, David, for Utah State, coming off of an emotional win like the one they had last week against Boise State, what's the most dangerous part of that the following week?
Well, the problem was, and I think Coach Wells talked about, is look, we give them 24 hours to celebrate the victory. The question is how much, a big win like that, can you come back and then go on the road and find a way to win again?
Here's Lawan Hunt, nudged his way to the 29, gain of 4. For San Diego State, pretty impressive. Their most first quarter points in scoring 21 at Fresno State back on September 29th. They're doing it against a Utah State defense that has been very stout. Second and 6. Myers will keep it. Adds space, makes a man miss. And the first down of the evening for Utah State. And a nice block there from Tyshawn Mosley.
And you'll see right here, San Diego State's going to be pressure from the right side of your screen. You'll see Feely and Munson coming right around the corner. They run quarterback counter back the opposite way, and that puts Myers one-on-one at the safety. Chunk yardage play. That was a concern of Rocky Lawns coming into this game. The aspect of quarterback run from Utah State.
Said he thinks Kent Myers is probably actually their best running back. That's how much respect he has for him as a runner. Handoff goes to Mays. Mays wiggling his way through a few across the 45 and gets to the 46. A gain of 8 on first down, and now Utah State is starting to get the ground game churning.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, to settle things down, get physical. And you're not going to run sideways on this San Diego State defense. If you're going to have any success, you've got to get downhill on them. And when they're moving sideways and twisting and stunning, you got to try and crease them.
6 linemen in now. Ben Wysocki comes in, set up on the right side of the line. Mays will get it. Flag flies. Mays bowling his way to midfield as the first down, but we'll check the flag.
And offside by number 14 of the defense. The penalty's 5 yards, and it's enough for a first down.
Utah State with back-to-back first downs, their first 2 of this quarter.
And you'll see right there, Utah State's getting heavy on San Diego State. 2 tight ends, a defensive lineman, a fullback, number 19 right there, Tong Ji-ai, and he's going to just block at the point of attack. And that's a new dimension of this offense along with the quarterback run game, is they've decided when they need to, they've got to be able to get big and heavy. With extra tight ends, defensive linemen playing fullback. And I like the addition to their offense, because you can't just go sideways all the time and be creative. At some point, you need to be creative and run downhill as well.
Now, you'll notice on our graphic in the bottom right corner of your screen with the score and time, what we call the bug in the business, there is no play clock. That's because one of the play clocks in the stadium in one of the end zones was out. So by rule, they can't use them then, and so the official is giving manual signals. As Lawan Hunt cruises across the 45, Ryan Dunn on the tackle, a gain of 4. I would have to think that's got to be very disorienting for any player who's used to looking up at a play clock and instead now has to find an official.
Yeah, that's got to be tough, especially at the quarterback position. Both these teams will, San Diego State huddles a little bit more than Utah State. Utah State using like a muddle huddle close to the line of scrimmage. And so that can affect where you are in terms of audibling, checking, getting in and out of the right or wrong play.
Myers will give to Mays again. Pounded at the 45 and sent backwards by Jake Feely. A 1-yard gain, and Devontae Mays is going to feel that 1 yard. See if Kent Myers and Utah State want to run a play or let the first quarter wind to a close. And I think Matt Wells probably is looking forward to another quarter after the way this first has gone, and that's what he's going to get. All San Diego State after one. A 17-0 Aztecs lead as we head to the second quarter here in San Diego.